Hey, he showed he can make all the throws. He showed that he can run. So now it's just continue to build the offense around him and the plays that he likes and in his system. Of course, we had Kubiak's system, right? But Peyton had his own system. I'm pretty sure Tom Brady has his own system.
Hello, and thank you for joining us here on Broncos and Bourbon. I am your host, Phil Milani. We are back after a couple of weeks off following the end of the season, the end of the Broncos season, but now we are back with this Super Bowl edition of Broncos and Bourbon. And for such a big episode, we brought in Chris Harris Jr., one of my favorite players of all time. And I think that you'll really enjoy our conversation. When we recorded this episode, it was the 9-year anniversary of Super Bowl 50, a day that Chris or I will ever forget. Just so many special memories, not just that season, but that day in particular, February 7th, 2016. So a special day in Broncos history for sure. And probably a day that a lot of you watching won't forget either. So it is a special day for all of Broncos country. Anyway, we had a great conversation. We talked about this year's Super Bowl matchup between the Chiefs and the Eagles. He had some high praise for Patrick Mahomes. You'll have to listen to that. And then we also talked about the Broncos season, how Bo Nix can improve this offseason, things that he'll have to do to avoid a sophomore slump, and then maybe some things that the Broncos need to bring in this offseason in order to help the team take that next step. At their end of year press conference, they said, hey, we want to win the division. That's definitely one of our big goals. Well, the Chiefs have won the division now 9 years in a row, so it'll take a lot to knock them off of that throne. So what do the Broncos need to do this offseason? I asked Chris Harris about that. And then I also asked him about, hey, what's in store for his future? He made his retirement from the NFL official this season, or this fall, and I asked him about that. So I think that you'll enjoy this episode. So with that, let me get to my conversation with Chris Harris Jr. Chris, thanks for taking some time to join the program, man. How you been? I know you've been doing some coaching.
Oh, it's been fun, enjoying this retirement. I just launched my program, Chris Harris Jr. Elite, based through my foundation, and all the work that we've done over the last 14 years, me and my wife, we wanted to finally put a program in Oklahoma and partner up with some schools and some organizations to be able to help these kids get some notoriety and also get some proper coaching and all that type of stuff. And it's been fun to be able to come back and really, pour into these kids.
And you guys just won a tournament or something for 10 and under?
Yeah, we won 3. We won at 3 ages. So we're starting out pretty fast, man, for only a month of really in the program, them a month learning my system. Everybody from ages 10 to the older guys are going to be running the same stuff, same terminology. So I'm just trying to help them get the NFL and college concepts now. So when they get to high school and when they get to college, it's pretty easy. The game is pretty slowed down for them.
You are always one of the smartest players, in the locker room. Have you ever thought about, getting back in the league on the coaching level?
If I didn't have 5 girls, that I would already been coaching, So it's just trying to do something that I can where I can still have a lot of time with my kids and the wife and still be home but still be able to coach and impact kids. So right now what I'm doing, it's working for me right now. And I can also still do media, right? With coaching, I'm pretty much gone. It's pretty much a whole nother world. And I definitely can do it. I already have system. I have an offensive system, defensive system. I already have these things ready. So when I do want to coach, it's already done. So I just popping in, showing what I got.
And would you want to get back into the NFL, later on if that's what you want to do, or high school,
yeah, once
college?
my girls get older, for sure, definitely getting the NFL or college. Really, I feel like I definitely have a great mind to be able to do that. I'm an expert in this. I feel like, being
yeah, for sure.
Scheme defenses. I just haven't got the opportunity to coach it, on a high level. But anybody that's probably played with me, they understand that. I understand concepts, I understand the system. I had a lot of great coaches, great mentors, from Wade Phillips to Jack Del Rio to Dennis Allen, Fangio. Fangio was a great coach to learn from, schematically. So I've had great coaches, and, I got my own, and just sprinkled my own little, sauce to it, and I got a really good defensive system.
Would you want to lead a program then, or would you want to be a defensive coordinator, something like that?
Definitely work my way to lead a program for sure. Okay. I could definitely, most guys usually start at DB coach, and move on from there. But I can call a defense. I think I'd be good enough to call a defense. Understand what's going on out there, understanding down and distance, situational football. How offense is trying to attack you. Since studying offense for, the past 15 years, 20 years, you kind of learn offense. So I know what coverages can beat this specific defense, and where's the weakness in this. How do we, if we get this route, how are we going to cover this? So playing on the defensive ball and studying the Peyton Manning, studying Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, all these guys, it's really helped me learn even more on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you mentioned it, since the last time we talked, you made your retirement official. How was that process, and how was, this whole season for you? Was it sort of weird watching football?
Yeah, it was, man, because, I stayed training, I stayed working out, and I definitely feel like I could have played, man. I'm like, man, I still want to play, but, they say that's kind of like that is after that first little, once you first retire, you still have those little itching to play, man, and until I see somebody get hit hard, I'm like, yeah, that's why I retired. But it's been great, man. It's been great. Enjoying this transition. At first, you kind of get bored. You're like, man, I got to find something to do. I got to do something, But now I'm starting to get, things rolling and come up with a good plan for what I want to do. And it's been great so far.
Yeah, it sounds like you're off to a good start, and I'm sure spending time with the family has been great. I was thinking today is actually the 9-year anniversary of the Super Bowl 50. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's crazy to think that 9 years has gone by. What was your favorite memory from that whole week? The game, and then also leading up to it.
Man, this when we first got to Stanford, first practice, I mean, everything was going perfect. You could just feel it in the air that it was over for the Panthers, and we were going to have a very good game. Guys were locked in, and I just remember that first practice, man. It was so perfect. I don't remember anybody having an ME or messing up on any coverages. Both sides, it was just a solid practice, and that's how we won the Super Bowl. Guys were well prepared, ready to go when we got to California. So it was easy. It was just, review the whole week, and we could play fast come Sunday.
Was that so many people say the week before you go out to the Super Bowl, that's where you do all your work, and that's where you can really, it makes a difference whether you win or lose.
Oh, yeah. You got to be ready going to the Super Bowl because if you're not, you don't want to cram all this information at the last minute. Right, and that can be very hard, especially when you're dealing with a Patrick Mahomes type offense, Andy Reid, even the Cam Newton offense at that time with the offense they had. I think they had the number one offense in the league that year, and he was MVP. So you got to be able to have the game plan down. Hopefully the Eagles, everybody's, they already had it down last week, and they should be very familiar with each other, right, playing each other so much. But hopefully they had it down last week, so now everything's reviewed, everybody's on point, and they're ready to go play fast.
For you, back to Super Bowl 50, what was that whole experience like for you? Because, 2 years earlier, you were injured going through that Super Bowl week. So did you just say, hey, I got to make the most of this whole week here? Yeah, the first Super Bowl, we didn't really get to go. We showed up, I think, on the weekend, the Saturday before that game. So we didn't really, experience the Super Bowl, me and Vaughn. So we were like, no, we're going to get back there so we can get the real full experience of it, So that was our motivation. Me, Wolf, I'm trying to think who else was with us. Man, so many guys were Trevathan.
It was so many guys. 10 guys on the defense didn't even play in that Super Bowl, but they act like they beat the real Broncos that year. You take 10 guys off that defense, it's not the same defense.
Yeah.
right? That was just, that gave us a lot of motivation, seeing us how we got beat, knowing that we had the talent to get us there. That was just that made us hungry. So we knew that we were going to get that championship. It was something that was, I would say, everybody was locked in on that same goal. Right. That's why we won it. Everybody wanted the exact same thing. Real bad. So that I think that's definitely how you win a Super Bowl. Once the whole organization really wants it, right? And I really believe that we really put the team above accolades, even though we had a lot of guys that had accolades, right? I think everybody as a whole, even from Brock to Peyton, everybody really wanted it bad that year.
Locked in, yeah. One thing that I heard like a couple of weeks ago is that like the night before the game, like Patrick Mahomes like goes to like this place where he becomes like Superman or something. Have you seen other athletes do that? Like, did Vaughn do that like before Super Bowl 50, or were you like that? Where you just got into a weird zone like the night before a game?
Man, I was always big on routine, having my same routine. Every time we got to the hotel, I always got worked on, and we get worked on before the game. So a lot of those guys we're all kind of on the same routine. Me, Vaughn, who else was it? Talib, Wolf. We're all kind of doing the same thing. And we're all locked in, ready to roll. So I haven't heard. Maybe Peyton might be doing something. You never know. You never know what Peyton was doing, but guys were prepared. Peyton set the standard. D-Wade and them set the standard that we're gonna. Everybody's taking this very serious, and we did whatever we could to make sure our bodies were ready to go. And I had a hurt shoulder at that time, so I was trying to do whatever I could to make sure I could get 100.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard to believe that since that time, the Chiefs have won the AFC West 9 straight times here. So it's been crazy. Who do you like in this Super Bowl coming up Sunday?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs. I hate to say it, and then I never thought anybody would beat our record for AFC state or AFC champions streak. I think we have 5. Is it 5? Did we?
Yeah,
We
like
had 5, and they came back and got 9. So man, we gotta come on Broncos. We gotta do something next year about it. We can't let them get 10.
got to change
But
this.
I think the Chiefs will win this game just based off the quarterback. I think Patrick Mahomes is better than Hurts. Hurts is going to have to probably throw the ball 250 to 300 yards to win this game, just because I don't believe the Chiefs are going to let Saquon Barkley beat them. Right? They're going to play tight up front. They're going to force Jalen Hurts to beat him with his arm, and that's how the game's going to kind of go. So if Jalen Hurts can beat them pass with the ball in the air, he has a great chance to win, but I don't see that happening. And I see Patrick Mahomes doing his late heroics at the end, especially in the fourth quarter when he starts to run to lead the team to win.
What is it about the Chiefs that, like, in those moments where it's like it's fourth down and a little or something like game is on the line, they like always execute?
Yeah,
Like,
they're
what
kind
is
of
it
how
about?
like the Patriots were, but I don't know if I would say they were as good as the Patriots when it comes to execution and situations, but they're like right there, right? And you got to put them up there with them because they win so many games, tight games, last minute games also, and they rarely mess up on any situations. So I would say the Chiefs would be right there below the way Brady and Belichick ran. I don't think anything will ever top that coaching of what Brady and Belichick did. But Andy Reid's right below him. He's close second.
You think like this could be Mahomes' 4th Super Bowl? Like he's sort of on a path here to catch Brady. You think it's possible?
Oh yeah. He's definitely the best quarterback I ever faced. When it comes to legs, arms, being able to make every throw, just the late game heroics, he's always clutch. Brady was great, but the thing about Brady was he couldn't run like this kid can run. So that's the difference, I would give Brady the edge in the pocket, right? But I would give Mahomes, more of the edge of creating plays out of nothing. And they're both very hard to play. They both had great receivers, right? Gronkowski, I put him as a number 1 receiver, right? So they both had elite guys. Mahomes probably might have had more elite guys, but Brady, they're two different quarterbacks, so it's hard to say. But I would say Mahomes is probably the GOAT. He was my hardest guy.
Wow. And he's like not the fastest guy either, but he's like sort of like crafty, or he makes it hard to get him.
He's bigger than what people think, and he's stronger than what guys think too. So Mahomes is not an easy quarterback. He's kind of like with Big Ben, we couldn't tackle Big Ben low. We had to try to tackle Big Ben's arms, right, to get him down. So Mahomes is kind of in that same way. That's why you see guys, he's always slipping off of them and making guys miss, because he's stronger than what people believe.
Well, I want to ask you about this Broncos team. Broncos almost beat Kansas City there in Arrowhead. What do you think about the Broncos here? They kind of surprised a lot of people. Made the playoffs. What do you think about the season?
Oh, they definitely surprised me. But when you look at their defense, the way they put them together, a lot of guys stood out. Benito stood out this year. Zach Allen was a great pickup. I think he's very underrated. I don't know how he didn't get any All-Pros or Pro Bowl. Well, he might have got All-Pro, did he? Second team All-Pro.
He's second team, yeah.
Yeah, he should have been first team with the year that he had, for sure. He's one of the best players on the defense and didn't get any accolades like that, Other than Pat. It's Pat, then it's Zach Allen. So I thought he definitely deserved some more recognition. The offense definitely surprised me. Bo Nix coming out there playing solid as a rookie. Vele was a playmaker at receiver. So I love what the young boys came in and do. Franklin, him and Nix could not connect, but they finally connected at the end of the year. Yeah, that was good to see, because we see the kid can get open. We just got to get it to him, So I love the young guys that we have and what they're building around. I think we probably just need a couple more inside interior O-linemen. Hopefully we can retain DJ Jones, because he's been you got to have somebody stable vet in that middle, So he's a key to me, I think, to retain on the defense. And also pick up some linebackers. We need some more speed back there in that middle of the field. Secondary, continue to grow and continue to build off those guys. I love the way they played. But, we need a little bit more speed at the backer position that can cover and deal with these fast running backs.
Yeah, that was something that Sean Payton said, hey, linebacker, sort of the middle of the field, maybe a safety. And then he also brings up this joker role a lot. What do you think he means by that? What's a joker type player to you, Chris? On offense.
On the offensive side, that's kind of like a Kelsey, or, they'll use Gates like a joker. A joker would be like a receiver / tight end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like a running back, somebody does all of it.
He can do everything, pretty much, and every team usually has that type of guy, right? Gronkowski was it like a Hernandez was. You can put Hernandez at running back, receiver, tight end, that's your joker. A guy that can play multiple positions.
Got it.
They do need that. Broncos don't have that.
What do you think about the running back role, in the NFL overall? We saw Saquon this year go crazy, Derrick Henry. You feel like that position, the importance of having a running back has come back to prominence here?
It's very important. It was always important. And I don't know how, people let that get out the game. But when it comes to playoffs, you got to have a stable running game and a good defense, or you won't even have a shot to even play around this time. And I see Jeanty. Jeanty's one of my guys. Hopefully he goes pretty high. He's out here in Frisco with me. I'm trying to think. Devin Neal, that's my guy. Hopefully, that's who I want the Broncos to get, Devin Neal. He fits Sean Payton's system perfect. Be able to catch the ball out the backfield. He can block. He can do everything, run the zone, gap scheme, all that, counter scheme, everything. So that's my guy. I hope the Broncos get Devin Neal for sure.
Oh, okay, nice. And you mentioned Jeanty. He's out there with you too.
Yeah, Jeanty. He'll be out here in Texas.
Wow.
In March. He's from Frisco. He's from out here. So man, we just with him, man, it's just about being healthy, making sure he's ready to go for 150, 200 carries next year. So just getting his body right. He carried the whole Boise State on his back last year. So right now it's just about getting healthy.
Yeah, he might not be there for the Broncos at 20. It seems like now.
Yeah, I can see him gone. We pretty much told. I told him my opinion. I said around 10 to 20. 10 to 20 range.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. I heard maybe Dallas there at 12. So yeah, we'll see what's up with him. What do you think about with Bo Nix? Like, you mentioned how long you studied these offensive guys. What's going to be the key for him from year one
Yeah.
to year two? Because so many people talk about like a sophomore slump. How does he avoid that?
Just taking what the defense gives him, right? I think sometimes Bo might have passed up an easy throw to make a spectacular throw. So I think that's something that he'll start doing. Continue to just grow and command the offense, right? I think as you continue to go, you kind of want to make your own offense. Even though you got Sean Payton's offense, you still want to kind of start creating your own. Like, hey, Sean, these are my top 50 plays. Like, I want to, you know what I'm saying? Start creating your own system that fits you. Find plays that you like. Start, working with your receivers on these things, mastering those things. So that's what I think he can improve on next year. Continue to improve in the pocket. His feet, earlier he was a little antsy, but he improved that. He got calmer and calmer as the season goes. Continue to work on that. And hey, he showed he can make all the throws. He showed that he can run. So now it's just continue to build the offense around him and the plays that he likes and in his system. Right? Peyton had, of course, we had Kubiak's system, right? But Peyton had his own system. I'm pretty sure Tom Brady has his own system, right? That he brought with him to Tampa, So I think every quarterback should have their own type of thing outside of what the coaches do or with it, to fit kind of what they like to do.
For like opposing defenses, how big of a deal is it now that there's 1 year of game tape on him? Like, is that a big difference when you're getting ready to face like a rookie quarterback versus a guy who you have 1 full year of tape on him?
Oh, it's just your second year is the hardest year, right? Next year they're gonna be ready for Bo. They're gonna know he's gonna run. They're gonna have a full year, 18 games, 17 games of scouting on him. To know exactly how to defend them. He's going to have to be able to counter that, right? He's going to have to be able to play above those, the scouting reports. So it's always harder than next year. It is.
And do you think it's important that he needs to be able to play under center? Like he hasn't done that really, in college or even much last year. Is that important to like be able to make defenses not know exactly what's coming here?
Yeah, it's very important because it's all about the run game. That's why Detroit Lions led the league in offense, right? They have a great combination of shotgun and under center to be able to have a stable run game, be able to have all the play action plays that you can run out of the run game that freezes the linebackers and the safeties. You can make a lot of plays under center, so it's very huge. We didn't have a run game, so our under center game wasn't going to help us too much, right? If we get a stable running back, stable running game, then that part of the game on the offensive side of the ball will open up.
And on the defensive side, I got to ask you about Pat winning Defensive Player of the Year here. What'd you see from him? Like he took his game to the next level last year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And really, he's played good every year. You really can't say, oh, Pat had a bad year any year, and he's the prototypical corner that if you're going to make a corner on the video game on Madden, you're going to make a Pat Surtain, right? 6'2", long, very smooth, disciplined. And that's where I love his game because that's very similar to my game. He's extremely disciplined, the same way I was. So that's one thing I love his game the most. How he plays with fundamentals, great technique, and he's disciplined all the time. And that's something that I can see my game that I was very high on. He has that same thing. Only difference is he's 6'2", 200.
Yeah, that's the only difference. Yeah. Because man, that height is a big deal. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you guys were like hanging out with the team, like you could feel that presence, like with Pat, like when he's out on the field like that. When.
Oh yeah. I mean, even Riley Moss is huge. Both those guys are pretty big, good sized corners. But Pat is just a great leader. Just being around him, everybody loves him there. He's very humble. And with that type of mindset, his dad did a great job with him, and you could tell he's been in this league mentality for a long time, and he's just built for it. He's been building on this since he was a little kid, and I'm glad to see the results happen, man, because he's definitely one of those kids that you want to see great things happen to good kids, So I want to see that happen and see those guys really get the accolades they deserve.
Just a couple more for you here, Chris, and I'll let you go. When you guys are hanging out with the team, you're around Sean Payton a little bit. And, I know you were in New Orleans a year after Sean was there, right, for a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about him? Like, you got any good Sean Payton stories? Like, how did he get this thing rolling like this?
Man, they loved him in New Orleans. It was like the heart was out of their building. Almost every week they said something about Sean Payton, even the players, right? They loved him there. So that's one thing I did realize is that the players do they will ride for Sean Payton, and just coming up there and seeing them how they react or interact with him and being around those guys, they love him and they trust him, and that's why he was able to turn this around pretty fast. The trust from the players, they believe in his system, they believe in his coaching, and that's how you get a fast turnaround. If guys don't believe in the program, then we're going to continue to have our streak of 10 years of not going to the playoffs, right? That would have been 11, right? So with Sean Payton, he's made guys believe. They trust his system, they trust him as a coach, and they trust his staff. So that's why we're able to make a big turnaround.
How do you establish that trust? I mean, like, did you have coaches like that where, like, right off the bat, you're like, man, I play harder for this guy? Like, what's the secret to doing that as a coach?
Yeah. I would say we had to establish trust with Kubiak. Right? Kubiak had to give us a good game plan and build trust with the team. And really, it was just camaraderie, just him coming, just talking to us real, and being a real upfront coach. That's kind of, I would say, he was a player's coach, but he was real straightforward coach. And that got the trust from all the guys. And we were able to buy in Kubiak pretty fast and be able to move on from a guy that everybody loved, a John Fox, to a Kubiak fast and be able to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was quick there too. And then last thing for you, I mentioned the NFL honors. I saw you tweet about Antonio Gates. What is it like to see guys that, like, either you played with or you played against, now they're being elected to the Hall of Fame? Is that kind of wild for you?
Oh yeah, man, it's definitely. And seeing Gates go out there, guys that now I'm starting to see guys that I played against now. So. I played against Megatron, played now Larry Fitzgerald's getting ready to go in. I played against these guys, and I had solid outings versus a lot of these guys. So it's going to be good to see them go in there. And I feel like, hey, if I could guard the Hall of Fame guys, I should be in there too with them. So that's kind of how I think in my head, But
of course,
it's going to be good for to see those guys going in. I'm pretty sure we'll start having some more Broncos guys be eligible, but next year's class should be pretty solid too.
Yeah,
I'm glad Eric Allen got in, man. Shout out to Eric Allen.
Yeah,
that's one of my. I always looked at him as a corner. When he was with the Niners, because he was more my size. Like a Crockett. I always looked at him, Ray Crockett. Aeneas Williams. Guys around Ty Law, guys around my size. And seeing how they went out there and played. And Eric Allen was definitely a guy I watched.
Yeah, awesome, man. And I think for you, man, like, you got the all-decade team, you got a couple of all-pros, Super Bowl, man. You got the resume going, and it's just a process, of course.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And you just retired.
5 years, man. I got 5 more years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just retired, so. Yeah, we'll see what the future holds, man. Well, hey, Chris, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with me here, and always love catching up.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
My thanks to Chris Harris Jr. for spending some time here on Broncos and Bourbon. I do think that Chris, 5 years from now, he'll be eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's going to be an interesting candidate, I think, because his resume really is outstanding. And, he made a huge impact on what the league now considers like a nickel back. He was the premier guy at that position for many, many years, and really helped evolve how the defense, looks at that nickelback spot. So I do think that he certainly has a case. We'll have to see. Aqib Talib was, in the running this year, and so we'll have to see. That Broncos team that won Super Bowl 50 will have some guys certainly in the mix. Obviously, Peyton Manning's already in, so The other guys, though, on that defense will be in the mix. Demaryius Thomas, was a candidate this year. So, I think that there's going to be some guys on that team that end up with gold jackets. Kind of have to have some gold jacket guys in order to win a Super Bowl, I think. You think about those 90s teams. I mean, on this poster here, there's a handful of gold jackets now. So pretty cool to see that. And see what's in store for that Super Bowl 50 team. So anyway, really enjoyed that. Patrick Mahomes, he says, is the GOAT. And I certainly think that he is. I think that you don't label him the GOAT until he passes Brady, but he's like on that path to pass Brady. So I think that we'll have to wait and see. But this guy is just, when the game is on the line, he executes. That whole team executes. And that's the thing is, like, so many people were knocking the Chiefs this year because they didn't blow out teams. They didn't have like those gaudy statistics on offense. But when it comes down to it, when it's like 4th and 2 and they're trying to run out the clock, they always convert. And it's always somebody new. In the AFC Championship game, it was Samaje Perine. Every time it's like the guy you don't expect. And so, that's why, all these prop bets out there for the Super Bowl, they're like, who's going to be the MVP? I was like, it really could be so many different guys if you think it's going to be a player from the Chiefs. So we'll have to see. I'm taking the Chiefs in the Super Bowl just because, look, the experience factor of playing in that game is huge. The Eagles, even though this is a Super Bowl rematch, a lot of guys have turned over. That roster has really flipped over. And so it's going to be hard to match that experience. The Super Bowl is unlike any other game where the lead up to it seems like forever. Pre-game, you feels like you're out there forever. All you want to do is like get those jitters out and get the game started. And it just feels like that lasts forever. And so the experience the Chiefs come in, having gone through this so many times, I think is a huge factor in this game. And then just the fact that, like Chris was saying, Mahomes is the better quarterback in the game. Saquon has had an amazing year, one of the best running back seasons of all time. And so I do think that the Chiefs are stout enough up front to really force the Eagles to do some things that maybe that's not their strongest aspect of their offense. Certainly Jalen Hurts is capable of throwing the ball downfield. He's got the weapons, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. There's guys on that offense, but it's not what they want to do. And so I think the Chiefs might force them away from that. And I think on the other side, Patrick Mahomes can just do whatever he wants, it feels like. But Vic Fangio, okay, he knows the Chiefs, having been, the Broncos head coach there. So he knows how to game plan against this team. So, and it's the best defense in football. So I think these are the two best teams in football. So it should be a good game. But I think that the experience and the fact that Patrick Mahomes most likely will have the ball in his hands to determine the outcome late in this one. And, you go with Patrick Mahomes in those situations. So we'll see how it plays out. One thing's for sure, though, it's going to be nice to kick back, maybe have some nachos, maybe have some pizza, and certainly enjoy some bourbon. And the one I'll be enjoying this weekend is called Green River. Green River Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And let me tell you a little bit about this. It's 90 proof, so not terribly high. We'll see what kind of heat comes with this. The mash bill, 70% corn, 21% rye. So a little bit of spice there, I'm assuming. So maybe the spice will come from the rye and not so much the proof. And then 9% barley. I believe you can find Green River in about half the country right now. So 25 states is what I saw online. Hopefully you guys can find this if you want to try it. $35 is what this retailed for. So I have not tried this. I've never tried this bourbon before, so I am interested to see what this tastes like. You can tell the color right off the bat here, like sort of just like a nice golden sort of chestnut color. A little bit about Green River Distillery here. They are considered the 10th oldest distillery, licensed distillery in Kentucky. And right on the bottle, where did it say this? Established in 1885. This was, Green River here, was the official medicinal whiskey for the U.S. Marine Hospital. So that's a little bit about the history here. And it's branded as the whiskey without regrets. Now, this was lost to Prohibition, though. Green River was, it says here, it was lost to history after Prohibition, but it was reestablished in 2022. So relatively new here. So we'll have to see what this thing tastes like. Got my Broncos cup here. So let's give this a whirl. Nose, I would say like a little bit of brown sugar for sure. Maybe a little bit of caramel. Yeah, I'd say brown sugar is what I'm getting, like a sweetness kind of right off the nose is what I would say. Let me give it a taste. It's nice. It's very smooth. It drinks very easily. A little bit sweet. A little bit of baking spices there. The proof could be higher. It's not like super complex, I would say. Finish has like a little bit of like a cinnamon heat. So like sort of what I thought maybe with the rye there, sort of making up for the proof. But I think what you miss out on the lower proof is a short finish. It sort of comes to a stop abruptly. Now, for some people, they like that because that means they take another sip right away. So maybe that's what they're going for. But smooth, easy drinking. At $35, not bad here. It's not super complex though. It's sweet all the way through. I would say a little bit of heat at the finish where the cinnamon comes through, and then the finish drops off. So I think that it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Worth a try, I think, but certainly not the most complex bourbon here. So. But something good to try, something new, and check it out. And, that's sort of all a part of this is just trying new bourbons and seeing what you like. I would say not like in the top 5 of the bourbons I've tried so far this, on this show. But it's nice. It's like a easy drinking, a little bit sweet, I would say, and not a very long-lasting finish. So... but certainly not bad. I would drink that on the rocks. I think is probably how I drink that one. But you wouldn't want to dilute it too much. You would want to drink this one. Don't let it melt, as I guess is what I'm saying. So, okay, so that is a Green River, Kentucky straight bourbon. And that is going to do it for us. The plan here, I think, for the podcast is like a couple times a month. So maybe like every other week. Or if something like relevant happens, like maybe the Broncos have a big signing, certainly we'll be around during free agency. And before that, we'll do some draft shows and that kind of thing. But, if anything relevant happens, if there's like a big signing, I'll try to do something right away and get some reaction and some information out there. So, that's sort of my plan every couple of weeks here to do this throughout the off season. Certainly draft lead up, free agency we'll be here anytime there's some sort of a news, we'll be here. And that's sort of the plan as we go through the off season here. So I appreciate everybody who's liked and subscribed to the channel, really building this thing, and really appreciate the Broncos and bourbon community that we have built here. So my thanks again to Chris Harris Jr. for spending this some time with us this week, and really enjoyed that conversation. So that's going to do it for us. I am Phil Milani, and this has been Broncos and Bourbon.